Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to explore how to create stunning animated charters using D3. Is a powerful JavaScript library for data visualization. And I am excited to show you how to use it. Let's get started. Okay, open our code and first we will set up our project by creating an HTML file and including the D3 library. Next we'll also create a CSS file for styling. Let's start by setting up our project structure. Like you see, before started recording this video, I prepared our HTML, CSS and JavaScript file. You also can create these files, and also let's delete images because we don't need any other files. We have only HTML, CSS and JavaScript. In the HTML file we will include the D3 library and link to our CSS and JavaScript files. First connect your CSS using tag len and also attribute ref with value startsheet. And next step, let's connect our D3 library. We can using link from official site. I'll also add link to this library to description. And we can connect here or we can connect inside our body. It doesn't matter, but I'll connect inside head. Create new script tag with attribute src and add our link. Okay, and also let's create our charter. We'll be using div element and create ID. We'll be using this ID to connect our library to our element. Create ID. We can write it down chart. Okay, this is all. We don't have any other elements inside HTML, and now we will add some basic styles to our project using CSS. We will style the container and set up some default styles for the chart elements. Let's write our CSS in our main CSS file. First create basic style for our body. Create new selector and first add set new font family. We'll be using Arial. It's my favorite font and I always using it. Next set background light and change position our charter. Will be combine display flags for our body and justify content center and then items center. Okay, also change height. We need full screen and delete all margin. Okay, our body is ready and next let's create some styles for our chart. Create background color. We'll be using white for our chart and also create border 1 pixel solid and add color, some padding and shadow using property box shadow. We can add 0, 0, 10 and also we'll be using RGB because we need to set opacity. Okay, our shadow is ready and let's look at the window. Here's our markup and like you see background color was changed and it means that our style file is work. And before we start coding, let's take a brief look at what D3.js and how it works. D3 allows us to bind data to DOM elements and apply data-driven transformations. We'll use it to create our animated chart. Let's dive into D3.js. Open our JavaScript file. We'll start by loading some simple data and embedding it to our chart elements. D3 makes it easy to load data from visual sources and bind it to DOM elements. Let's load our data and bind it to the chart. First, we'll create array with our data. Create new variable, and we can name this variable data, and we'll be using array with object. Our object will be include year and value. Okay, first object is ready, and now we can double our code 4 times. Okay, I think it'll be enough. And next, let's set up chart dimensions. Create new const. It'll be our margin. And create object. We'll be using top, right, bottom, and left. Okay, and add values. And also we need to calculate our width. Create new variable width, and using 500 minus our margin left and margin right. Duplicate this code and do the same for our height. But now we need using top and bottom. Okay, and now we can create an SVG container using our D3 select. Create new variable, and we can name this variable SVG, and using our D3 plus select. And inside this select we can connect our element. Copy this ID and paste here. Okay, and now we need to using method append, and we need to write in that we'll be using SVG format. Also using method, and this method will help us set width and height. First we'll set in our width. This method takes 2 arguments. First we need to add name our property, and next we need to add value. We can copy this code and add some changes like add plus, and I think it'll be enough. And do the same for our height. Copy this method and double here. And now let's copy our height, pass here, and also add 2 plus and change name our. Okay, and next let's append a group element to the SVG. We can use in method. Again using method append, and now we need to add value g. Okay, and also move the group elements according to the margins. Again using our method, and now add transform and translate, and we need to use in translate. Okay, and now we can connect our margin left and connect our margin top. And next, set upscales for the X and Y axis. Create new const. It will be our X and using again D3 and method scale band. Okay, and now create a band scale for the X axis using method domain, and we'll be using our data, and create loop we'll be using method map, and now we can get our D and set the domain of the X scale to the years in the data. We can add D and property year, and also set the range of the X scale to the weight of the chart area using property range, and inside we can create array with value and name with. Okay, and also add padding between the bars using method padding and value 0.1. Okay, our padding also ready, and next we can start creating our Y. Create new const, and again using D3, but now we need scale liner. Call this method, and this method will create a liner scale for the Y axis. Next, let's using method domain, and now we'll be using something more difficult. We'll create array with 0 and using method D3 max, and inside this method we can add our array and create simple function. This function will be get our element, and like you see, our object has only two property, year and value, and now we using value, and set the domain of the scale to range from 0 to the maximum value in the data, and also round the domain values for better visual appearance. We can using method nice, and set the range of the Y scale to the height of the chart area. We can copy our range from our X and pass here, but now we don't need width, we'll be using high. Create high, and the same using 0. Okay, our Y also ready, and okay, next create and append the x-axis to the SVG using our SVG variable and method appeared. Append a group element to the SVG using G, and create again attribute. Now we need class and add X axis. Okay, and also create attribute transform, and again using translate we can copy from here, but now we need 0 and our height, and also generate the x-axis using the X scale using method call and D3 method axis bottom, and add our X. Okay, and next create and append the Y axis to the SVG. Duplicate this code, but now we need to change our X, and we can delete attribute transform. We need to only call, and we'll be using axis left with value y. Also create bars for the bar chart using our SVG and select all past class bar. And also bind the data to the selection using method data and add our data. And create selection for the data elements that don't have corresponding DOM elements using method enter and append with value rect. Also create attribute class with value bar and create attribute x. Again using this function, but we also need using our x function. For x we'll be using year and do the same for y. And add 0. Okay, we initialized the y position of each bar at them bottom. And next let's also add attribute width. And set the width of each bar to the bind width of the x scale using x and method bind width. And initialize the height of each bar at 0 using again attribute, but now we'll be using height with value 0 and add transition effect to the bars. We need to call method transition empty and set the direction of the transition. We can call method to rection with value 800 milliseconds and animate the y position of each bar to the correct value. Copy this attribute and pass here, and now we can use in d value and do the same for our height again using function. And now we need, but like you see I made mistake and we need to correct this mistake. Okay, and next delete the animation of each bar using method delay, and we get element and index, and we'll be using index and 100 milliseconds. Okay, and we also can add some interactivity. I decided to skip this moment because it doesn't necessarily. If you want, you can copy this code. Okay, and now let's look at the window. Like you see, here's our chart, and we have successfully created a stunning animated chart using D3. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel for more web development tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.